Good evening. Welcome to the school board meeting for the month of June. This meeting is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. Opportunities for public participation will be permitted in accordance with policy 167.3. So I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask everyone to stand to say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I would like to ask for a motion to approve the superintendent contract and the hire of Dr. J. Arthur as superintendent.
I move that we approve the superintendent contract for Dr. J. Arthur as the superintendent as presented.
And I ask for a second, please.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And the motion carries. Our search for a new superintendent involved working with the university placement team and using the community surveys that everyone filled out and interviews, and after which Dr. J. Arthur was the unanimous choice. Dr. Arthur has the knowledge base, personality, and people skills to support our vision and our mission to take the MSD to the next greatest level. We are excited for him to begin his journey with us, and we welcome him to the MSD family. And now we're going to put him to work. We have no public comments regarding regular agenda items. So I ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second, please.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
I'd like to first say thank you to the community and thank you to the board especially for giving me this opportunity to lead the MSD of Martinsville. I'm super excited, and so thank you very much. I also want to say thanks to my family who's here in the front row. I also just want to take a quick second to announce that as part of the consent agenda, we just approved the assistant superintendent, whose name is Craig Buckler. Craig Buckler is a current principal in Beech Grove until July 1st, and then he'll be transitioning to the MSD of Martinsville. Craig comes to us with 12 years of experience at Central Elementary in Beech Grove, and prior to that had 11 or 12 years between Beech Grove as a teacher and Indian Creek. And so we're super excited to have him here on our team. As a part of the process to hire Craig in the last couple of weeks, unofficial duties as this incoming superintendent, I pulled together a committee of people, principals, directors, board member. We were well represented. And we did 2 rounds of interviews with a handful of candidates to wind that down to offering it to Craig. So we're super excited to have Craig. He's not here this evening because he had a out-of-state vacation planned, and so I look forward to introducing him at the next meeting. So thank you.
Okay. Bylaws and policies.
Okay. I would ask the board to consider adopting an revised policy, PO 5112, which is in regards to kindergarten changes with start dates, moving that kindergarten start date from September to August.
I ask for a motion to adopt the revised policy as requested.
I move that we adopt the revised policy.
Second, please.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And we move to reports. I have a couple of things that I want to share right off the top. Each 6 months out of the school year, you're required to report to the community any gang activity that you've recorded or reported within your school district. And I'm happy to report in the last 6 months, we've had 0 instances of gang activity reported. The next report is Mr. Kip Staggs. Mr. Staggs could come up. Mr. Staggs is the athletic director, and he's going to update us on our Title IX culture and situation.
Just a second here while we get organized. Let me share this document with you. You can follow along. Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome Jay to our team, and want you to know that you're in good hands here at Martinsville. So we'll work with you and collaborate with you. I'd like to also report that this past Tuesday, we met regarding the softball locker room, and pleased to announce that the meeting went well, and so Sam Arn's in charge of that part of the project, is going to update us with some updated designs and those types of things in weeks to come. So a good meeting with our committee of people involved with that part of the project. Also, just like to share that the field house project, we did meet recently, and the committee will meet again here in July with our architects, and we'll definitely keep Title IX as a major focus and component to that project, as well as others to move forward. But my task this evening is to talk to you about our athletic culture. And culture is everything, and it's always ever changing. Cultures are different based on norms, expectations, values, and goals of every organization. What is acceptable in one organization is not always acceptable in another culture or in other organizations. Cultures can vary within your organization. One sports team may have an acceptable set of standards, while another sports team may be a little bit different. Through the review of Title IX and other areas, the review of the athletic culture is healthy for our district and allows us an opportunity to grow and to make artisan athletics even better. I believe we are primed to move forward and move the needle in a new direction and to make our weaknesses our strengths. So, athletic success really has three components. Obviously, you have to have student athletes that are skilled and committed. You need to have quality coaching. And then you need to have the school community behind all of those areas that need to be covered, facilities and resources, etc. And when you combine those three things together, you increase your chance for athletic success. A few notable successes that we have enjoyed over the past year, I want to refer to some of our academic successes. Our fall team GPA was 3.5, that was our average. Our highest fall GPA was our golf team at a 4.0. Winter GPA team average was 3.42, and our cheerleaders had the highest GPA in the winter at 3.9. As I moved forward, spring was 3.29, and then girls tennis had the highest GPA at 3.72. So we've excelled in the classroom, and we definitely put students first in front of athlete. A couple other examples, the past 2 years we've had IHSA has awarded 2 Martinsville student athletes the Cato Scholarship, Eli Mock in 2018 and Emma Keller in 2019. There's only 26 of those awards that have been presented across the state in the last 2 years, and we have 2 of them. Needless to say, we've had multiple academic all-state individuals that have been recognized. So academically, our student athletes do a really good job. On the competitive side of things, we definitely are competitive. And I can tell you for a fact that there's a lot of schools that don't like to play us because we are competitive. But to give you a few ideas, IHA sectional champs in girls golf and in baseball, state wrestling, we were represented by Griffin Stein and Coach Briar Runyon. IHSA state golf, Emma Keller was a representative of Martinsville High School. We had multiple athletes in boys and girls track at the IHSA Regional in Bloomington just a few weeks ago. And then we had our mid-state conference champs in girls basketball and baseball. On the sportsmanship side of things, we've done an outstanding job. Last year, we were one of less than 50 schools in the state that won the IHSA sportsmanship banner. And we are on track to do the same again this year. Those recognitions will come in the fall of 2019. But while we've had those successes, there are areas that we can look to improve on and at the same time look to grow and get better. So I propose to the board 4 different things. First of all, an athletic council. The athletic council would consist of 42 student athletes consisting of all of our sports across the board. These students would serve a 1-year term. The grade distribution amongst teams would be even. We'd meet 2 times a month or maybe just once a month depending on the activities. This would serve as a sounding board for our student athletes to relay back to the administration what's going on in their world. At the same time, we would take them through this curriculum, the Leadership Playbook, which has 10 lessons and will allow those student athletes to grow individually as well. And at the end of the student school year, we'll have those student athletes gather and have one culminating event that they decide what to do to help grow themselves and what they're doing. Initiative 2, to have a school-wide athletic meeting presentation. A member from the Maxwell Group, John Maxwell, if you're familiar, is globally renowned for leadership. And one of his colleagues is Jamie Duckler. And we've discussed the idea of Jamie coming to Martinsville, making a presentation to our student athletes, a 45-minute session in our auditorium, and then following that up with a session with our coaches. The third idea, which may be the most important. We know where we've been, we know where we are, and we have to know where we're going. To be certain about what this culture should look like, to know what our norms are, to know what our values are, and ultimately our goals and mission, we need to meet, we need to gather, we need to define and develop and communicate what our athletic culture should be. The goal would be to meet in August with a committee of 15 to 16 individuals, and then to bring back to the board in September what that mission and goals and values are for the MSD of Martinsville as it pertains to the athletic department. For us to be judged on what the culture should look like, we need to know what it's about and what it should be for our student athletes. And then the 4th initiative is just simply a student athlete of the month, to foster, to celebrate those student athletes who have excelled in their sport while being a great student athlete and showing great signs of character. To continue on, outside of those 4 missions or 4 initiatives, the athletic department looks to continue its involvement with the Mid-State Conference Leadership Summit. This March, Martinsville High School is the host of that event. In addition, continue the participation in the IHSA State Leadership Conference. Just yesterday, I was able to take 6 student athletes to Plainfield High School for that event. To continue and to help grow our coaches, along with the growing our culture and improving our culture, is the Inside Out Initiative. The Inside Out Initiative is one that's put forth by the Colts and multiple NFL teams across the country. We are one of 25, I should say, we are one of 100 schools in the state that are participating in this initiative. But what is Inside Out Initiative? It's the difference between being a transformational coach and a transactional coach. The transactional coach is motivated by self-interest, quid pro quo, if you will. Thinks of leader first, team second, and student third. But through this growth element with our coaches, transformational coaching is what we're seeking. The transformational part is where we put the student first, the team second, and the leader gets their needs or their satisfaction by meeting the needs of the student athlete. And then finally, to continue to make sure that we are all on the right track, we'll continue to have our winter, fall, and spring coaches meetings to talk about communication and character and how do we win with class and lose with dignity. We'll talk about sportsmanship. We'll continue the idea of improving daily through practice. We'll talk about community service and many other things, including safety. But I truly believe this. With 500 different events that will take place in a year, our number one goal is to win each of those 500 events. whether it's track or swimming, girls basketball, wrestling, etc. But I truly believe that our number one purpose, however, is student growth and development. If we can give our student athletes the tools to put in their toolbox, if we can allow the student athletes to learn and to fight and understand struggle and loss and how to rebound, but also to celebrate and enjoy the victories and how they got there. If we can teach that student athlete how to go through those processes, then that student athlete is ready to make the next step. To make the next step to that vocation that they choose, to make the next step to go to the military or potentially a college or their vocation of choice. We all want to win, but at the end of the day, the reality of it is that 3% of our student athletes go on to play collegiate athletics. So 97% of our student athletes have a terminal event, that when they walk across that stage in May, their athletic career is finished. So what have we done for them during the process to allow them to move forward? It's not always easy, it doesn't always feel good, and it's not always the easiest thing for parents to accept along the way. But if we can give them the tools through coaching, through seminars, and a variety of other things, now we've given them an opportunity to be successful and move forward. Do you have any questions?
Thank you very much, Kip.
Mr. Staggs, I
Yes.
have a question regarding the student athlete of the month. Who would make the decision as to who would receive that, and how would that decision be made?
So that would be coaches make the recommendation because they're with them every day. And then those nominations are turned in the athletic office, and then there'll be a committee of 5 people that will sit and determine who that recipient would be, 1 male and 1 female.
I didn't know if that would be made by the athletic committee or if there was.
Completely separate group. We'll involve a teacher in that part of the process as well, so it gives a different element.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll now move on to other business.
Okay, I'd like to ask the board to consider approval of several donations, starting with a donation by the Green Township Elementary PTO for virtual reality equipment.
I ask for a motion to accept the donation as requested.
I move to accept the donation.
Second, please.
I second.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
The next donation is on behalf of Duke Energy. I'd like to say a special thank you to Duke Energy for their support of our school district and for our programs. This particular program brings male mentors into all of our kindergarten classes to read, and it provides our students with their own mini library of books to take home. So I'd ask for your approval on that particular item.
I ask for a motion to accept the grant as requested.
I move that we accept the grant.
Second, please.
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Okay, the next item is a request to consider approval for Boys Town training for the CHAMPS classrooms. We'd like to use special education funds from the federal grant to provide this training to our teachers, aides, and other staff in the CHAMPS program.
I ask for a motion to approve the training as requested.
I move to approve the training.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you. The next is an Education Foundation grant, or grants, plural. I'd like to say a big thank you to our Education Foundation for all their fundraising efforts throughout the year. I know that's a great way to support our students. These grants are provided to individual teachers and will directly support programming in classrooms for children. Over $10,000 in grants will be given out, and this includes a symphony experience for every 4th grader in the district.
I ask for a motion to approve the grants as requested.
I move to approve the grants.
Second, please.
I second.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Moving on to some other business. This next request is for the approval of the substitute teacher handbook for the 1920 school year.
I ask for a motion to approve the 2019-2020 substitute teacher handbook as requested.
I move to approve the handbook.
Second, please.
I second.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Next item, I'd like to request that you approve the lowest bid by Sten's Construction Group for the auditorium project at Martinsville High School. A little background on that, after putting the project out for rebid, there were additional bidders, and we're asking for the lowest bid with Sten's Construction to be approved.
I ask for a motion to approve the bid as requested.
I move that we approve the bid.
Second, please.
I second.
Discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
This next item up for approval is working with the I-69 folks in the city of Martinsville. They've made a request for a utility easement. Pardon me, I lost my spot here. This easement is for the I-69 project.
I ask for a motion to approve the easement as requested.
I move to approve the easement.
Second, please.
I second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Next item is requesting your approval to approve the non-certified support manual. This is for the 1920 fiscal year, which begins July 1st.
I ask for a motion to approve the non-certified manual as requested.
I move to approve the manual.
I second it.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
This next item is near and dear to my heart. This is the Agape Program. The request is to approve the 1920 school year partnership between the Agape Center and Martinsville High School, John R. Wooden Middle School, and Bell Intermediate Academy. This provides horse therapy with our students with disabilities in those schools.
I ask for a motion to approve the agreement as requested.
I move,
Wait.
I move that we approve the agreement.
A second, please.
I second.
Everyone's a good. Any discussion, please? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Another really cool thing to request of all of you for approval, Chromebook setup. We're excited that our RD Intel program is so successful that we can actually hire students to work for the district for setting up our Chromebooks moving forward. Previously, we had to contract the service out to a company, but given the training and the support that these students can give to us, we can use our own students versus paying a company. So this is a savings to the district and gives students an opportunity to support what they're using in the classroom. So I'd ask for your approval for that.
I ask for a motion to approve the hiring of the 8 students as requested.
I move to approve the hiring of the students.
Second, please.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. We will now move to additional appropriation hearing.
Okay, this particular hearing is in regards to appropriations for a general bond that we're asking for to be approved. Public comments at this point?
Are there any comments? Anyone would like to make a comment about the bond? Okay, we shall move on. No comments.
This particular project, just to give you some information, is in regards to the general obligation bond for the STEM Center at Brooklyn STEM Academy. The funding for this project is through a set of issuance of general obligation bonds. The proceeds from this bond issue will be appropriated prior to being spent on the project. This was advertised in the local paper, and so we're at the point of approving several different resolutions that support the spending of that money and the acquiring of that bond. I would like to request to approve an additional appropriation, Resolution A, Exhibit A in your packet, regarding this bond issue.
I ask for a motion to approve the additional appropriation resolution as requested.
I move to approve the appropriation resolution.
Second, please.
I'll second, and I would also add, if you have not been presented or been involved with our STEM Academy at Brooklyn, then I would encourage you to come stop by and visit, contact the principal, let them know if you'd like to know. We'll find out more about the program, because it's just, the board has had meetings there, and it's just simply amazing what those kids are doing.
Any other discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
Okay, the next resolution, bear with me, a lot of reading to do here, all the legal things. This final bond resolution establishes the amount to be borrowed, the maximum term of repayment, and maximum interest rate. It also contains the details about the bond, such as the form of the bond. The resolution also authorizes the publication of the notice of the sale for bonds and establishes the maximum cost of an underwriter or bank that may bid for the bonds. It also establishes a bid committee who will award the bonds to the lowest bidder. This resolution also approves the form of the second supplement to the Master Continuing Disclosure Undertaking and the Registrar and Paying Agent Agreement. The Securities and Exchange Commission requires that a school corporation enter into a master continuing disclosure undertaking before it issues bonds. The school corporation has entered into this type of agreement previously. It basically requires that the school corporation agree annually to provide certain types of financial information to the Securities Commission database and provide notice of certain material events on a timely basis. I would ask at this time that you approve Exhibit B. It's a final bond resolution.
I ask for a motion to approve the final bond resolution as requested.
I move to approve the final bond resolution.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries.
And this last item regarding the bonds is a resolution that promises that we will continue to keep active the procedures and process that are used to acquire bonds. So this school corporation shall consider and approve the amended and restated post-issuance compliance procedures. So I'm asking for you to approve the post-issuance compliance procedures, Exhibit C.
I ask for a motion to approve the resolution of amended and restated post-issuance compliance procedures as requested.
I move to approve the resolution of amended and restated post-issuance compliance procedures. Thanks for not taking that one, guys.
Second, please.
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. All done? This is one of my favorite times of the board meeting, when we get to recognize some of our students, our schools, and things that have been going on in our school system. So, let's start, Steve.
We would like to congratulate Mr. Jeremy Honecker on being Mid-State Conference Coach of the Year.
And congratulations also go to Zane Spangler for qualifying for the Boys Golf Regional.
I would like to do a special thank you to Kurt Bodell and his staff and volunteers for doing the summer meals program and dinner at the park and at the YMCA. Great job to Kurt.
Great job, Brooklyn STEM, for the summer camp experience for our students. And I'm going just a little bit off the cuff here because he thinks that I forgot, and maybe for a couple minutes I did today. But today is mine and my husband's wedding anniversary. And I just wanted to thank him because he's had to share me a lot with the school board family recently, and for good reason. Congratulations, it's a boy. So I just wanted to thank you for this great adventure, and I know it's not easy being married to a redhead, so thank you.
I sympathize with you. Thank you to Dr. Moore and Dr. Terhune for all they have done for the MSD and our wonderful students. Their time, their dedication, and everything that you did is greatly appreciated. We wish you both the best of everything always. And an item that's on a joyous evening like tonight, with Dr. Arthur being with us as we move forward, I want to bring up a thing that's been around Martinsville for a couple years now. And they're stuck in front yards. There are no more signs. Many are down, several are still up. At one time, when they first went up, I went door to door. I was told many different reasons. I was told this about Dr. Moore. I was told that about Dr. Moore. Several said they didn't even know who she was, wouldn't know her if she even knocked on their door. A few said they didn't like her. I asked, have you ever met her? The answer was no. I put the sign up because a friend asked me. My old football coach asked me. One says, I just ran here. The landlord had it put up. A guy on South Main Street whose kids don't even attend Martinsville schools. He has 2 signs stuck in his yard now. He said, I've talked to him several times. He will take them down when his friend tells him to. Now this friend that had him put the sign in his yard This guy doesn't even have a sign in his yard, but he's got his friend. And he said, I won't take it down till he tells me to. I sat on several people's front porches, and they shared with me what they were told about Dr. Michelle Moore. I shared the truth about Michelle Moore. They said they were going to check out what I said. If it's the truth, we will take down the signs. Well, there were several people that took those signs down. A lady in attendance here this evening, Susan Burley, she met with myself and Debbie Lips. We talked about the school. She's talked about it at previous meetings. One topic of discussion that evening was the no more signs. We mentioned they need to come down. This meeting was a while back with Mrs. Burley. Not much had really changed at that point. A few were down. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure as I look around, there may be some people sitting in here with signs still in their yard. Dr. Michelle Moore's days are winding down. The end of the month is her contract. I've got a sciatic nerve problem.
You okay?
Yes, I'll be all right. Anyway, Dr. Moore's days are winding down after giving our school district, our community, amazing what she did in our community. Working with our teachers, but most important, the 5 years of what she did bettering education for our children here in the MSD of Martinsville. And if you were around her, you know she gave 110%. I just ask one thing. Isn't it time for the signs to come down? We are moving forward as a school district. Dr. J. Arthur's going to lead us. See if we can get those signs down in this community. Thank you.
Thank you so much for everyone coming tonight. Before I ask for a motion to adjourn, I'd like for everyone to stay and join us in refreshments to honor Dr. Arthur and his beginning of his journey with us. And we're so very fortunate and blessed to have him. And then you'll get to meet Craig, our assistant superintendent, at another evening. But thank you for coming. So our next regular meeting will be July 18th. 2019 at 6:30 p.m. right here at the Central Education Center. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
A second?
I second.
I know there's no discussion, so we'll say all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Thank you so very much. Please take a chance to meet our wonderful new leader.